What's up everyone? Today we're talking about my favorite web development apps for 2025. I transitioned from Replit to these apps and I love them and I think you will too. Not all apps are created equal, right? Some of them are just moi, chef's kiss, and then some of them just don't quite cut it, right? So we're going to talk about my favorite ones, right? GitHub, Vercel, and VS Code, right? One key thing that makes these apps so much better than Replit is that they're free, right? These apps, Vercel, GitHub, and VS Code all have free versions that you can not only get started on, but continue using for years. On the other hand, you have Replit, and it's $200 a month just for the cheapest subscription. Replit still is a good platform, but for hobbyists that are trying to get into web development or that are working as a business but it's not at the enterprise level yet, you don't really need to pay $200 a year. And to be honest, for the same functionality or even better, I would rather not pay. Anyways, let's kick things off with GitHub. If you're coding anything beyond a simple project, you need GitHub in your life. You can store all your project's files and they can be reached out through other platforms seamlessly. For real, GitHub is like your project's brain. It lets you collaborate seamlessly, save your files, and integrates with basically every other cloud-hosted platform ever known, right? It's a game changer, especially for teams because, like I said, the collaboration is wild. If you compare GitHub's collaboration to Replit's, the comparison's pretty much night and day, right? On one hand, you have GitHub where you can make edits to the code without overwriting somebody else's work. Whereas on Replit, if you delete something, it's deleted. And sure, they have the history thing, but I would rather use the pull request thing from GitHub. Actually, I'll show you now. It's actually really cool. Here's the pull request system on GitHub. You can suggest changes, leave comments, and even make edits, all without stepping on someone else's toes. It's smooth, it's intuitive, and it's free. I can't stress that enough, okay? Meanwhile, over on Replit, you're hitting limits, right? Now that Replit has monetized their entire platform, you only get 3 free projects, right? And a lot of the functionality that you would have had, so you can't send those projects out to the real world as a website or anything like that. It's pretty limited unless you pay $200. And again, that's their cheapest subscription. Next up, VS Code, the king of code editors. If you've used it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I've seen videos, I've seen them, other people saying that other things are better than VS Code. In my experience, VS Code is so much easier to use, right? It's intuitive, and the amount of plugins that you have, it's amazing. You can code any language in VS Code. It's got everything. IntelliSense for auto-completion. It actually does debugging, and it has an entire library of extensions to help you with whatever you need. Now, Replit's editor, it's fine. Sure, it's browser-based, which sounds cool until you actually start to use it. Limited extensions, right? And, oh, yeah, no customization, right? VS Code just gets it. And Replit used to, but they really don't anymore. Look at this. Prettier ESLint keeps my code clean, live server spins things up instantly, and it's all tailored exactly how I want it. Replit can't even come close to this kind of flexibility. And finally, Vercel. Not last, definitely not least. If you're deploying web apps, this is where the magic happens, right? It's fast, it's simple, and it just works. Here's the craziest part. Connect your GitHub repo, and with one click, your project is live. No crazy configurations, no headaches, just a smooth, professional deployment. Replit does have deployment features, but let's be honest, it's nowhere near as seamless as Vercel's. Plus, Vercel's free tier gives you so much without compromising or holding back on any of the important stuff. And again, I can't stress this, all of these apps are free. Here's another thing I love. Vercel optimizes your app for speed and automatically gives you detailed analytics to track performance. It's kind of like having a professional web hosting assistant. So when it comes down to it, GitHub, VS Code, and Vercel are just better, right? They're reliable, they're powerful, and they're free, right? They're everything they need to be when it counts, right? Replit, they've been pushing on the monetization thing hard lately, and honestly, it's a turnoff. Again, anybody that knows me will tell you that I love Replit, and I just wish they would go back to having a free tier. Alright, that's all for this one. If you have any other tools that you think should have made it in this list, drop them in the comments. I love to know what you guys are using. And always, catch you in the next one. Peace.